Hello, Evan here. Just trying out like the new camera mount we got for what we use for for at least my camera for these videos. But before it gets too late, I wanted to do like a TV aftermath on Veronica Mars, all three seasons. Right before the movie comes out, which we may or may not get to within like the next week. I'll let you know by then. Oh, we'll figure out by then. Whatever comes on Friday or Saturday morning, that's what officially we'll do. But before I get into the actual review part, this is a kind of getaway thing. It's basically the same thing Fandango's been doing if you buy Veronica Mars. Basically on Fandango, if you buy a ticket to Veronica Mars, you get a free copy of the first three episodes on iTunes. And now that I've already seen all the episodes, like the entire series, because I had an Amazon Prime account, I wanted to just sort of give that away. It's like, I'm sure like if you're a Veronica Mars fan and you're watching this, you probably already bought a ticket, and you probably already have all three seasons on DVD. But for those of you uninitiated, I'll give it away. It's just a simple iTunes code. Basically, if you to be entered into this giveaway, I'll give it away within like the next week or two. Basically, just usual subscribe, or comment, subscribe, and share the video, and also leave either leave a comment on the YouTube video below on the YouTube page here, or on the Facebook page where I'll have this video posted. What's your favorite Veronica, Logan, or Wallace line comeback, or whatever sassy thing they do. It's like, for example, you can name what you could post one of Logan's crazy voicemails with whatever fun speech, inspirational speech you think he likes. But anyway, subscribe, and leave a comment either on the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, YouTube comments. But anyway, now onto the actual Veronica Mars TV aftermath. Now, I never caught around to Veronica Mars when it first came out, but since I think Community a couple years back, Veronica Mars sort of it was like a random Community joke about Jeff being a detective, and this one person he caught sort of became sassy and just called him Veronica Mars. But I always knew heard Veronica Mars as a sort of cultish TV series, and being in this age now, it's really fun to being my age and being in this particular time of our culture is it's really interesting to sort of catch up now with all these cult TV series. And honestly, as a side note, honestly, in retrospect, especially now with the movie coming out, and especially given what usually stands out in terms of cult TV series, Veronica Mars was somewhat pretty well off. I mean, it had three seasons, 64 episodes. So it's not too bad for your Josh Whedon shows, or your Kyle Kinnan type stuff. Kyle Killian, Awake type stuff, these sort of very short-lived cult series. Veronica Mars, it had a lot of great stuff, solid ratings for the first season, for almost the entire series, until when it moved to the CW, the CW of course fucked it up. But regardless, so I knew the movie was coming out, and and Amazon Prime had all 64 episodes, and I'm always interested in catching up with what is considered a really cult series. And since the series was one of the probably the first one to show how much it had success with the Kickstarter last year, and now which is coming out now, just wanted to project my feelings on the entire series as a whole. As a whole, though, Veronica Mars, I can see why it's a huge hit. It's a really good series. series. It's borderline great on like on many respects. Uh, like throughout the entire series, like it from like the pilot on from the pilot to the very last episode. The show always had like an extremely like almost profound sense of confidence in itself, like both like in terms of direction, execution of the genres it was in, because like and right down to Christian Bell and all the cast. Like it's a show that always seemed to find like the right sense of like attitude and execution for it. It's like again, Christian Bell, like she well, now because of Frozen, she's, I want to say she is kind of a big star now, but there's a reason why now she had sort of this like big fan base behind her, just because of Veronica Mars, and she nails this role as this very I guess if you this is my way of sort of recapping for those who haven't heard of Veronica Mars before, but if Veronica Mars is this high school student girl who recently like in the year prior, before we see in the series, her best friend just got killed. Her best friend Lily was murdered. Her sheriff was her father, who was the sheriff of the town Neptune they're in, was dishonored because he was accusing the popular but like seemingly obvious obvious and key suspect, and she's been basically social been forced into this social outcast as a result. Also, don't forget to mention, like, she was raped like one night, like sometime right before like her friend's death. So she's sort of now she's developed like this very angsty, hardened, very sassy personality, but she nails it on. But Christian Bale, like, she nails it. She sells the bitterness. Is like this very antisocial and very bitter attitude. But you can also she also opens up to, you also see like that she opens up to befriend other well, she's open to well, I don't want to say she's open to like being forgiving. She's what I like about the show is like how very harsh it treats the whole scenario. There's very like I think it was like a good line, and it was like at the end. It was like around like the end of like the first or second mystery. It was like the end of the second mystery, and the second main mystery in the third season. Is that like, because she in her spare time she freelances as this detective, because her father, like, he refused to move out of the city to like sort of to keep his pride, but also like still find the time to solve the murder case of Lily Kane. But also he doubles as a private investigator, and she has picked up a lot of those traits, and now she's one case where someone really like important of significance died, but she ends up solving the case. She's like, I don't remember the exact line, but she's basically like, life's so unfair. Sure, I've solved the exact mystery, but she's still like, this person's so dead. So ultimately, life is so unfair. And it's a great philosophy. It's a great like thematic point of like away from all the usually like uplifty type teenage stuff. Because like it's kind of like in Glee, where like usually like there is a lot of tragedy, but there's ultimately like a very bright, happy ending. A lot of episodes of Veronica Mars, it just sort of ends in this sort of, it's a satisfying conclusion, but it always leaves you with this kind of bitter feeling that like this should have turned out better than it actually did, and it's great. What else do I like? I think like for like a TV series to have this cult following, it's all about having the characters for it. And this show has like a bunch of like almost all the characters here are always fun to like always fantastic to see, and that's why I can see why that it developed enough of a fan base to get the Kickstarter to get going. But I like Wallace, like in the series, in the initial, like from the pilot, I was afraid they were gonna make him this like sort of nerdy, very awkward type person who's sort of fixated on Veronica, but like eventually, like at least towards the end of the first season, he becomes like this kind of popular basketball star, which I never saw coming. Usually, like with these kinds of characters in this setting, he's usually like not exactly the dumb jock. That's like who's it, but again, he's like there's that whole he's like undyingly loyal. He's like undyingly loyal and supportive, and like sort of internally grateful for what she's done for him. And there's that whole like back and forth type thing. Weevil, Francis Capra. He's like like almost every character that every relationship that Veronica has, and the chemistry that Christian Bale has with whatever cast member that be. Percy Diggs the Third, Francis Capra, Teddy Dunn, Jason Doring, Tina Marigino, whatever. If you've seen the show, and you should see the show, you understand all those names. But they all have great chemistry together. And again, of course, like there were two main like key relationships in the show, and that's Christian Bale and Enrico Contalini, if I'm remembering the last name right, as her father, and her and Jason Eccles, played by Jason Doring, as like this sort of on and off like rivalry, but also friends type kind of thing, and it's great. And like those are like the two main relationships or character dynamics people talk about when they sort of obsess about this series. And there's a reason why. It's like the dynamic between her and her father is fantastic. There's like this great balance between like what's a progressive parent right now, but also because like they're progressive, then like he secretly knows that like she's like doing all these like semi illegal things that anyone, like especially of her age, of course, but like just anyone shouldn't be doing. But like he sort of knows she's doing it for a good reason, and like also like he's really playful with her. They always like sort of do these like weird impressions or jokes or detective insight things with each other, and it's really fun to see. But like there's also like at no point where you don't believe like he takes the safety of her very seriously, or like her security, or like her morality, so to speak. There's at no point where like when he becomes serious, that's not jarring at all. And again, Jason Doring and Christian Bale, they have this great chemistry, bro. They're never like they always seem to be on edge, and they always seem like they're really unstable. But that's the kind of like appeal like this character relationship has. And Jason Doring, like I think he's the most interesting character, like in terms of performance, because I'm kind of taking this from Drew McReaney of Hitfix.com when he reviewed the movie, but like he has a good point. It's like he's a very unpolished actor. Like he has a very like weird sense with like his line reads and like his the way he paces everything, or the way he sort of acts physically. He's not a very polished actor. It's not like he's. Well, of course you rehearse it, and you can kind of tell, but there's always a sense of instability with his character that can sort of explode at any time. But also that of course that leads to his character, who's a sort of like he has a lot of rage built into him. You can feel that. You can feel how unstable he is. Like at any point, if you mess up with his temper, he'll just like beat the shit out of you at some point. Like at any point, honestly. Also, like as a side note, the series had a weird thing with its casting, which I guess it's more in service to its writing, of course. That you can like honestly, it doesn't matter if you're unless you're Christian Bale Enrico Mortellini, sorry, or alternatively Jason Doring and Wallace. Jason Doring or Percy Jiggs or Wallace or Logan. You can be gone for long ass stretches at this show. You can be gone for like 4 to 5 episodes, and like this, and no one would care. No one would notice. No one would care. And if you're not paying attention, like you'll be in the end credits, but you won't be mentioned in the show at all. You'll just be gone. It's like there was a stretch in the second season where Wallace is gone for like at least 7 episodes, like 5 or 7 episodes until like the winter finale. It's ridiculous what the show does. It's like when season 1, when they first started, they had this extra cast member played by like Sidney Poitier's daughter. And she's in the credit sequence for like 7 episodes, but she's only in 4 episodes officially. I didn't even notice that until like at least episode 15. And that's a really clever thing to do in terms of like when it speaks to like the characters and the pseudo realism of the show. The show like. It does have a very serious tone. It nails the noir setting a lot, but also it leads to a lot of there's a lot of soap opera type things. Like there's people killing themselves. There's like surprise pregnancies. There's of course wild murders or weird plot twists or all of these manner of like soap operas type stuff, but it's treated with a lot of seriousness. And it's also like the show, like I'm surprised, like it's one of like the most well serialized shows I've ever seen. Like there's only I can barely recall like more than 1 or 2 episodes that didn't start with previously on Veronica Mars. Like from the first episode on, there's always a previously on Veronica Mars segment, previously on, and like the way the show is always structured is that like first episode introduces this sort of season-long arc, because like the first season it was Murder of Lily Kane. Second season it's this giant bus crash, and the show always seemed to like every individual episode would have this like smaller mystery, but would always tie back to the season, to the like it would relate to like a certain high school theme, kind of like Buffy, but also it would also have some significant. Generally, it would always have some kind of significance to the overall mystery plot of that season. And it's really like the show's really good in that aspect, though. Like all 3 seasons, though, eventually I think it has problems. Or season 1's usually the best and the most focused, though. Obviously, like. Though, of course, at the more unsteady start being the first season. Season 2, I appreciate all of the character work and the expansion of this universe. But also, like, eventually that got so big, it's just sort of eventually, like, I lost track of, like, what's a red herring and what's not, and what was dropped and what isn't. And the 3rd season, which everyone complains is the bad one, well, like easily like the weakest of that whole series. I can see that. I can see why, but also like, and I'm kind of split between season 2 or 3 as like which one I like, which I like better. But well, I appreciate some of the stuff they did. Like appreciating season 3. How they eventually, like, they ditched, with season 3, since they moved to the CW, they adjusted the series format to be, like, one season's, like, this episode's long, another mystery's, like, this long, and then, like, the last 5 are a bunch of, like, non-sequitur mysteries that sort of, or relate more to the character relationships, which I prefer a lot more. But, yeah, this series is like it is a really great series. It's like it just back to because like even you took out, well, of course you took out the character stuff, all the characters and the great actors and the actors and all, like the foundation of a great show is there. Like the noir, like the show nails like this balance between going from this noir to this being this noir mystery to being this sort of weird like screwballish or wordplay based comedy, kind of like Arrested Development. There's this great episode where they have Michael Cera and Leah Schwartz, if that's how to pronounce her last name, or maybe like in the episode, but they never meet, which was kind of funny. I mean, I could pull like a bunch of like random like quotes out of nowhere about from Veronica Mars being sassy, or like being a marshmallow, or Wallace being sassy, or her dad Keith being like, "Who's your daddy?" Or Veronica like just sort of like sort of Beverly tearing down this guy. And another like what I love about the show is like the main like beyond the main theme is like it's a great show that has a lot of themes about class warfare, the morality of like what's right versus what's legal, etc. But also like this like the idea it kind of ties back to the whole high school / life type thing, is like how life will basically eat you up and chew you up and spit you out, and all they can do is to sort of learn from that and grow to be tougher people. And it's a wonderful like kind of dynamic, and I was glad to like sort of marathon through all 64 episodes. It gave my life structure for that time being. But absolutely, if you haven't seen the show already, and if you're watching this, you probably have seen it, like probably at least 2 or 3 marathon it 2 or 3 times over. But you haven't already, go watch that show. There's a lot of great stuff in it, and like it's a reason why there's plenty of great reasons why the show got to the Kickstarter success. It became the first great Kickstarter success that it was, and that's kind of all I got. But thanks for watching, and of course, a reminder: if you're curious about the show, it's on Amazon Prime only. If you want the first 3 episodes of the series on iTunes, just remember like the video, subscribe, and comment. Write us a comment either on the YouTube page or the Facebook page. The Facebook post on which I will post the video. What's your favorite? Just name your favorite line from the show in general. Be it from Veronica, Wallace, Keith, or Logan, like one of his wacky voicemails, like Archer-esque voicemails, or rather it should be Archer's Veronica Mars-esque voicemails. And I'll let you know if you want. I'll be like Jeremy and just sort of like private message you the code for the 3 episodes either by next week or 2 weeks after. Once I double check, I'll put the official announcement date in the video on the description. But in that case, thanks for watching. I'll do my best to Corey and I maybe we'll do our best to catch up with get to the Veronica Mars movie ASAP. Thanks for watching. Media Misfits out.